So, today we're doing something a little dangerous. We're looking at numbers. I know, scary. Today we're talking about the top 10 indie games released on Steam in 2025 that sold the most copies in 2025. These numbers are estimated. They come from Gamalytic, and they can change depending on when you watch this video. So please do not tattoo these numbers on your arm. Gamalytic estimates sales based on public Steam data, reviews, player counts, and a bunch of other signals. Valve does not publish exact numbers of sales, so no one outside Valve has perfect data. Some of these games will impress you, some of them will confuse you, and at least one of them will make you think, I could have done that. But the goal here is not jealousy. The goal is understanding. What do players actually buy? What kind of games explode? Alright, deep breath. Let's begin. Rematch comes in at number 10 with an estimated 1.5 million copies sold. Rematch is a fast-paced competitive multiplayer game focused on short matches, simple controls, and very high skill ceilings. Think quick rounds, instant feedback, and lots of shouting at your screen. The art style is clean and readable, which is very important in competitive games. You always know what is happening, even when chaos explodes everywhere. That clarity is not an accident, it is good game design. From an indie dev perspective, Rematch shows how important moment-to-moment feel is. The controls are tight, the animations are responsive, and losing never feels unfair. It just feels like you messed up. Players love that. Also, multiplayer games live and die by retention. Rematch launched with solid netcode, stable servers, and frequent small updates. That matters a lot. 1.5 million copies for a competitive indie game is no joke. That is a huge audience to manage. At number 9, we have Revenge on Gold Diggers, with an estimated 1.8 million copies sold.
Wait, what? Is this actually a game or what?
This game is a satirical action strategy game where you play as a character fighting exaggerated 3D enemies in over-the-top scenarios. The tone is silly, slightly controversial, and very internet-friendly. The reason this game worked is not just gameplay, it is identity. Players immediately understand what kind of game this is just from the name and the Steam page. Love it or hate it, clarity sells. This fetch lands at number 8 with around 2.5 million copies sold. This fetch is a narrative-driven management game where you play as an emergency dispatcher, making decisions under pressure while stories unfold through dialogue, calls, and events. The gameplay is mostly about choice and consequence. You are not clicking fast, you are thinking fast, and players love feeling smart. This game shows that indie games do not need explosions to succeed. Writing matters, pacing matters, audio design matters. Voice acting and sound effects carry a lot of emotional weight here. Number 7 is Megabunk with approximately 3.6 million copies sold. Megabunk is a physics-based comedy game built around exaggerated movement, silly characters, and pure chaos. The goal is usually simple. The execution is never simple. This is one of those games where watching someone fail is just as fun as playing yourself. That makes it perfect for streaming and short video clips, which means free marketing. At number 6, we have Escape from Duckle, with an estimated 4.5 million copies sold. Yes, the name is a joke, and yes, it is very intentional. Escape from Duckle is a parody survival shooter inspired by hardcore extraction games, but with ducks, humor, and a much lower barrier to entry. This game succeeds because it takes a complex genre and makes it accessible. Shorter sessions, clearer systems, and way less punishment. Technically, simplifying systems also simplifies development. Fewer edge cases, fewer exploits, fewer angry emails. At number 5, we have Hollow Knight Silksong, with an estimated 4.9 million copies sold. Yes, it finally exists. Please read. Silksong is a Metroidvania action platformer developed by Team Cherry. It builds on the original Hollow Knight with new movement mechanics, faster combat, and a new protagonist. This game had massive anticipation, years of waiting, speculation, memes, and pain. When it released, millions of players were ready. Silksong shows the power of mastery. Team Cherry did not reinvent everything. Level design, enemy design, animation, and sound are all extremely polished. Number 4 is RB Lariat with approximately 5 million copies sold. This game is a cozy road trip simulation where you manage a campervan, explore small locations, complete light tests, and enjoy the journey more than the destination. This game thrives on vibes, soft colors, relaxing music, low-pressure gameplay. It is the opposite of stress. Cozy games have been growing for years, and 2025 continues that trend. Players want games that feel safe and comforting. This genre allows smaller teams to focus on art direction and sound design instead of complex mechanics. At number 3, we have Bongo Cat with an estimated 6 million copies sold. Yes, that Bongo Cat. Bongo Cat is a simple rhythm and interaction game built around the famous meme character. You tap keys, Bongo Cat reacts, and dopamine happens. This game proves that simplicity sells. Very low price, very low system requirements, instant understanding. The scope is tiny, the impact is huge. But remember, this game succeeded because it was polished, charming, and perfectly matched its audience. Number 2 is Schedule 1 with approximately 7.7 million copies sold. Schedule 1 is a management and simulation game focused on illegal operations, logistics, and planning. Players build systems, optimize workflows, and watch numbers go up. These games are dangerously addictive. They trigger the part of your brain that loves efficiency. Simulation games require careful balancing. Small changes can break everything, but they also scale well with updates and mods. And we have reached the peak of the list. Absolutely dominating the number 1 is Speed. Yeah, sorry for the joke. With an estimated 14.7 million copies sold. Peak is a cooperative climbing survival game where players attempt to scale massive mountains while managing stamina, weather, and teamwork. This game exploded because it is social. Failing together is fun. Succeeding together feels amazing. The mechanics are simple, but the situations are endless. Procedural elements and physics interactions create unique stories every time. Peak shows the power of emergent gameplay. You design systems, not scripted moments. So, that was the top 10 indie games released on Steam in 2025 that sold the most copies in 2025, based on Gamalytic estimates. If this list made you inspired, angry, or bored, that's normal. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which game surprised you the most? And which one made you say, I could have done that? Thanks for watching.